Tonight, Windsor wading through. People still pumping out their properties after a weekend of wild rain.
Why does this keep happening?
Finally flattened.
The reason these orders are out now is these buildings are at risk.
Long abandoned Sandwichtown properties set for demolition. And still supporting soccer.
I feel really frustrated, but I still like cheer Canada forever.
Why the World Cup dream didn't die with Canada's elimination.
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Travis Fortnum. Stephanie is off. 2 waves of torrential rain soaked Windsor, Essex this weekend, leaving some areas with more than a month's worth of rainfall in a single day. Bob Belichico has been looking into how much damage the storms caused.
Well, Travis, I spoke with a resident who says she is waving the white flag and pleading with the city for some help after yet another flooded basement. She says she's done it all, including the installation of a backwater valve, but yet there she was once again dealing with flooding during Sunday's rainfall.
We're flooded with calls today, no pun intended.
The cleanup is on after Sunday's rain.
Fun times.
Morgan Malowitz and her family are emptying their basement once again after Sunday's heavy rains.
When the flood happened in 2020, we did whatever they said to do. Get the sump pump, get the backup valve, get the battery backup. We have it all, and it all failed.
Their home was built in the 1960s, and Malowitz is at a loss, not knowing where the water is coming from.
The infrastructure around that the city of Windsor has in place is not doing its job, and we're waving the white flag. People are done with this.
Why does this keep happening?
The Chapmans feel the same way after their basement was overwhelmed by the heavy rains.
I believe that the storm sewer was backing up through our sump pump into the basement.
It was not sewage, it was pure nature throwing all the water from the sky into our basement.
The city of Windsor says over $100 million has been spent improving the stormwater system as part of their $5 billion sewer master plan.
You're seeing these municipal projects all over the city, and all of those will be integral in enhancing our ability to take on higher flows like this during these intense wet weather events.
Flooded basements, flooded streets, flooded Grand Mayor's Ditch. Water pooled inside Cineplex Odeon as well. Now, crews were on site restoring the theater, which reopened to moviegoers today, with access through the front doors only and no access to the gaming area. But when it comes to houses, Brian Myers of Advanced Basement Systems says some pumps should last between 7 to 12 years. He has this advice for homeowners.
Make sure your battery backup is charged and ready to go, and there's no issues with that. And if you don't know what to look for a sump or a battery backup, give an expert a call.
So the city of Windsor is encouraging residents to monitor stormwater catch basins, check out your sump pumps and backwater valves to ensure that they are functioning, and also ensure sloped land grading, which helps keep water away from house foundations. Travis?
All right, thank you, Bob. That's CTV's Bob Belichico with our top story tonight. The double dose of rain Sunday follows an earlier storm on Friday. Powerful winds toppling trees, leaving a path of destruction across Windsor, Essex. Here's a look at some of the damage.
Gorgeous, isn't it? A lot of work to be done. I heard just the most incredible gust I'd ever heard against my window. So I went to go check my Ring camera doorbell, and the second I opened the app, I see it go down. I was kind of shaking. There's a 60-foot, 70-foot tree laying in my front yard here, so I just called her and I'm like, yeah, the tree is down, the front yard tree is down, just kind of ecstatic about it. I had no idea what to say.
We had a few injuries, not life-threatening, and a couple people went to the hospital, and our hearts are out for them, but everything worked out. It could have been a lot worse. lot of our vendors, this is their life, but they were struggling with evacuate and leave all their stuff or try to protect their stuff. And God bless them, they tried to protect their stuff, but no one got hurt. But I mean, it was pretty bad. It's like I say, I don't recall a storm coming up that quick and doing that much damage so fast.
We had lots of people contact us wanting to come out and help. They showed up, and we just started rebuilding, starting from one end of the park all the way to the other, putting up fencing back up, banners, cleaned up the trash and everything, and we got right to work with festival tent came in, assessed the tent, put it up all night, and other things happened throughout the night. People just generously helping us out. It was tremendous to see the community come out.
Restoration crews have been kept busy, with some homeowners being told they have to wait for help. CTV's Sanjay Maru has been surveying the damage and joins me now with more. Sanjay.
And Travis, here along Mount Royal Drive, you don't have to search very far to see the damage left behind. Trees toppling down, some onto people's homes. And this is just one of many areas across Windsor, Essex, where cleanup is underway following a wild weekend of weather. The Downtown Windsor Community Collaborative took over this building on Church Street just 6 months ago. Now crews are gutting water-damaged drywall and insulation after a tree came crashing through the roof during Friday's storm. And while the building suffered extensive damage, the outcome could have been far worse.
The last person had left the building 15 minutes before the tree fell, so the building was empty of people.
It's just one of many scenes of storm damage across Windsor, Essex. In parts of Windsor Roseland neighborhood, it's hard to drive a single block without finding at least one fallen tree, including this one that came down on Alexandra Roll's home right in front of her.
Looked out here to see the weather, the wind, and then all of a sudden, down it came. The snap, the crackle, the rattling of the house. I think I yelped and jumped back when everything happens.
And while the strongest winds are gone, the aftermath of this weekend's storms is keeping restoration crews extremely busy.
We're dealing with the fallouts of the storm over the weekend, not only the heavy windstorm that took place on Friday, but then the heavy rains that took place on Saturday into Sunday, even leading into today.
And if you've put in a call to a restoration company, officials ask for your patience. Crews expect to be working through the backlog of calls for several days as more homeowners continue to report damage from this weekend's storms.
We've received over 100 calls over the weekend from homeowners who are affected, anything from a fallen tree to shingles removed.
Restoration experts say the first step is to document everything with photos, take any reasonable steps to prevent further damage if it's safe to do so, and contact your insurance provider as soon as possible. Travis.
Thank you, Sanjay. So that brings us to our question of the day. Did you have flooding or storm damage from the weekend? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. On Friday, we asked you if you believe the FIFA World Cup is the most exciting sporting event in the world. Out of almost 1,300 responses, 86% say no. They don't think that. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us now with our first look at the weather. Gary, it's going to be warmer tomorrow.
Warmer tomorrow. Stanley Cup is the most exciting sporting event, right? Stanley Cup finals. Let's be honest about that. Okay. Heavy rain, strong winds, the story of the last 48 to 72 hours across this part of the country, where it has been rather volatile, to say the very least. Over 100 millimeters of rainfall in some parts within the last 24 hours. The clearing is happening and will be a big part of the story tomorrow. I'm not anticipating a lot of rainfall for the next couple of days. It will be sunny and warm. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s, and it will feel a lot warmer. I'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead into this weekend. It's not too far off. That's coming up. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk. Travis?
Thank you, Gary. Windsor police are investigating a fatal house fire in Amherstburg. Officers responded to a fire on the 100 block of Texas Road around 9:30 Friday night. Members of the Amherstburg Fire Department extinguished the blaze. Firefighters found a 47-year-old man during a search of the home. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say an arson investigation is now underway. They're asking anyone with information to reach out. 3 people are facing impaired driving charges after separate incidents in Essex County over the weekend. Provincial police say the cases happened Saturday night in Kingsville and Leamington, including a single vehicle crash into a mailbox and 2 separate traffic stops. OPP say all 3 drivers were arrested and charged with impaired operation-related offenses, and each had their license suspended for 90 days with vehicles impounded for 7 days. Diageo has entered into an agreement to sell the former Amherstburg Crown Royal bottling plant. A spokesperson for the beverage giant confirms a purchase agreement for the facility has been signed, but quoting confidentiality says any details regarding the purchaser cannot be shared. The building was listed for sale in December. The plant stores closed for good in February, with the company moving some production to the U.S. More than 200 employees lost their jobs in Amherstburg. Mayor Michael Prue says he's hopeful the deal could bring some jobs back to the town.
I don't know what else the buildings could be used for. They're a little short, in terms of building height for some industrial purposes today, but they could be used for industrial purposes, warehousing. We would like whatever will employ the most people. That's the use that we hope we can get out of it.
Several dilapidated properties in Windsor's West End are set to meet the wrecking ball.
The reason these orders are out now is these buildings are at risk of, potential risk if you were to walk next to them or go behind the fence. There's, loose beams, roofs that are in partial collapse, brick masonry so there's a public safety risk.
The city has issued 16 emergency demolition and safety orders for properties across West Windsor. They are all owned by the Canadian Transit Company, who has kept the properties as part of efforts to expand Ambassador Bridge operations. The homes are on Bloomfield, Edison, Indian, and Felix. Demolition is expected to happen sometime in the coming months. Ward 2 City Councillor Fraser Fathers says he's hoping the land could one day be used for new residential developments.
I'd love to see new housing or, whatever to come onto this property. The land is still owned by the Canadian Transit Company. They, just like any property owner, they came to the city with a request to build residential units. I don't think we would be saying no. I'd love to see family units going back and put housing back on here. The ball is in their court.
A well-known childcare provider is looking to expand its footprint in Windsor. Delta Chi Early Childhood Centers wants to rezone a vacant property at 1785 Turner Road, just off Walker Road, to open a new daycare in the Walkerville area. The plan would retrofit the building into a licensed childcare center with 6 classrooms, an outdoor play space, and 29 parking spots. It would accommodate up to 88 children from birth to age 6, along with 18 full-time staff. The company says the Walkerville area was identified as a priority neighborhood for new childcare spaces, especially under the $10 a day program. It says demand is extremely high, with wait lists stretching into 2028. If approved, the new center could open in November, becoming Delta Chi's 13th location. A red card decision involving U.S. striker Florian Balogun, sorry about that, has sparked international controversy after Donald Trump says he asked FIFA President Gianni Infantino to review the call, calling it unfair and blasting the referee's decision. The unprecedented intervention has thrust FIFA's disciplinary process into the global spotlight ahead of the U.S. match against Belgium. Here's CTV's Joy Malvin.
So, yeah, I did. I spoke to Johnny.
President Donald Trump confirming he made that controversial call, asking his friend FIFA's President Gianni Infantino to review the red card suspension of America's hottest player, Folarin Balogun. Trump called the referee's decision horrible and, quote, a little bit suspect, even calling on reporters to check the referee's past.
I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was 2 great athletes that crashed into each other.
FIFA's highly unusual reversal overturns the red card suspension, and the Belgians are furious. Their coach thought it was an April Fool's joke.
It's a bad decision. Not good for the sport.
And Europe's governing soccer body said FIFA had crossed a red line.
It is remarkable that the president has entered the conversation. And I think that's the thing. And you'd be very concerned about the slippery slope. King Charles, does he want to weigh in on last night's red card for an English player?
So will the appearance of political influence sully the beautiful game? Here's what World Cup fans had to say.
It's just the reversal is a little weird and the timing's a little strange.
Definitely think that Trump played a trump card. I'd be really annoyed if I was a Belgium fan. It's good for the USA though.
And today, FIFA dismissed an appeal by the Belgians, clearing the way for America's star striker to play against Belgium in that big match tonight. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
Do you have an idea for a great story? Share it with us. Send us a text at 10400. You can also send photos and video. From Alberta to Sarnia, a new pipeline proposal is aimed at moving Canadian oil east. That's still ahead on Windsor's news leader. Later, saying goodbye to Team Canada, but not the optimism their World Cup run has created. Tomorrow, from rescue to celebration, the Windsor Essex Humane Society marks 100 years with a special announcement. That's tomorrow at 6 on CTV News. CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Doug Ford and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith are making a major push for Canada's energy future, unveiling a proposal today for a new pipeline that would carry Alberta crude straight to refineries in Sarnia. As CTV's Siobhan Morris reports, the project is being pitched as a bold move to strengthen Canada's energy sector and reduce reliance on foreign markets.
It's a new vision to move oil 3,300 kilometers across multiple provinces. The premiers of Alberta and Ontario are calling it the Northern Shield Energy Corridor, a pipeline.
Built using Canadian steel by Canadian workers that will bring oil from Hardisty, Alberta, to new and expanded refineries in Sarnia, Ontario.
Moving some 500,000 barrels a day through the West East Pipeline, growing up to 800,000.
There is also an opportunity to eventually use this corridor to reach the Atlantic Ocean, which would allow Alberta to provide reliable energy to our nation's European allies.
A feasibility study of this proposal was launched in the fall. So far, it has buy-in of Saskatchewan's leader, but not Ontario's neighbor, Premier Wab Kinew.
He has to consult a little more with his folks in Manitoba, but we'll work something out.
Doug Ford says he'd rather have a private firm finance the project, but he's open to using public dollars.
I think it's a great investment, no matter if it's the government that will get a good ROI over a certain period of time.
A former oil industry player sees red flags on cost and demand.
This pipeline has a very low probability of success. There are so many challenges. Wouldn't put a lot of faith that this is going to happen anytime soon.
Ontario says it's already started consultations with Indigenous communities. Its feasibility study will be finished by the end of the year. That's when we should get a better idea of what cost might be. Siobhan Morris, CTV News, Toronto.
The federal government has chosen a German company to build Canada's new submarine fleet. Germany's TKMS is being awarded the lucrative contract for 12 new submarines. The first 4 deliveries are expected by 2034. In total, the company will build up to 12 submarines to replace the current fleet of 4 British-made Victoria-class subs, which have been plagued with issues since they were purchased in 1998. The German company was competing with South Korea's Hanwha over the contract. That has an estimated value of more than $100 billion over its lifespan. While the U.S. is still competing in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Canada's run has come to a frustrating end. Groans from fans here in Windsor as Canada dropped its round 16 match against Morocco 3-0. More than 60 people gathered in Art Alley Saturday to cheer on the country. Cheers across the nation were not enough to help keep Canada's historic run going. Fans here say the result is frustrating.
Man, the coach, he didn't do well. He should have put Davies. That was the best player. The defenders, they weren't really falling back, and it's kind of on Canada this time.
I feel really frustrated, but I still cheer Canada forever.
They were playing way better than Morocco in the first half. I feel like if they kept it up that game, they could have scored at least 2.
Despite Canada's World Cup run ending, there is plenty of optimism for the future of the sport in this country. CTV's Kamil Karamali has more on the impact the tournament is already having on the pitch.
Canada, whose World Cup ends less than 24 hours after Canada was knocked out from a historic FIFA World Cup run. These Canadian kids dropping everything to take to the pitch, ready to pick up where the national team left off, inspired, motivated to one day take the men's squad to the next level, something 12-year-old Riley Ross dreams of doing.
It would be really good to represent my country. Lots of people watching me.
Youth soccer camps like this one have been reporting a surge in kids signing up in the past few years, adding to the sport's growing momentum across the country.
We only had maybe 1-2 teams per year, and now we're up to, I think we have about 30 teams here plus going, so it's growing.
A chain reaction from Canada's performance in the last 2 World Cup tournaments, but now the real work begins.
The game throughout the country has to get better, has to continue to grow, because it's all part of the big picture.
So what does that look like? Canada is on the right track, but the next step would mean more infrastructure, like soccer residency centers.
A lot of the other football nations have that and have that established. So a place where not only our kids can grow, but they can get professional training.
And more youth academies with a direct pipeline to professional teams. Right now, there are 3 Canadian Major League Soccer teams with programs that scout youth and help them grow their talents. Other soccer nations have many more, but the birth of the Canadian Premier League about a decade ago can help with that.
Hopefully, he pays close attention to finding an infrastructure that is a pathway that is constantly pushing kids to the next level.
Alex.
So fear not, football fans. Canada's World Cup run appears to be just the beginning, with the team's future
Watching it just made me see how good I need to be.
in good hands and great feet. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Many federal public servants are starting a new work schedule today, which will see them in the office 4 days a week. But some departments are having trouble finding room for staff. A spokesperson for Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada says most of the department's employees will work on site only 3 days a week as it works to secure office space. Most public servants began working remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. Core federal employees have been working 3 days in office since 2024. Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the energy and utility sectors. In Toronto, the TSX fell 63 points, and in New York, the Dow gained 156 and the Nasdaq added 288. The Canadian dollar is down almost 1/10 cent today, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $42 an ounce and oil lost 14 cents a barrel. Could what's on your plate help protect your brain? New research points to a simple way to lower your dementia risk.
Thank you, Blake McPherson, for this great image, giving us an idea of just how bad the damage has been over the last few days from high winds and heavy rain, really significant storms. We'll talk the weather next on CTV News Windsor.
From moment to moment, things change. CTVNewsWindsor.ca is Windsor's #1 source for online news. Watch every story from wherever you are the moment it happens. CTVNewsWindsor.ca.
That is a familiar sight for many people all around the city and really through the county too this weekend and into today. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is back with an extended look at the weather. Gary, what can we expect? Are things going to dry up a little?
You know what? I think so for tomorrow. We did get into some light drizzle through the afternoon today. Tomorrow being a drier day and a warmer day, that will help with the cleanup efforts. A lot of trees still damaged, obviously, branches down, and there will be lots of uprooting and cutting, etc. Today reached a high between 24 and 26 degrees Celsius. That would be seasonal within our 27 to 28 range at this time of the year. Air quality is good. Lower the number on our AQI, air quality index, the better. We are looking at 25 degrees in Chatham-Kent, a mixture of sun and cloud, a mid-level stratus, very flat-lying layer cloud. Over Windsor, Essex as well, about 24. It feels like 33 degrees Celsius in Chatham-Kent. The humidex value in Windsor's 31. We will be warm tonight and warm through the overnight. More on that in just a moment. We're still quite warm in the east, just a bit cooler across Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC, but there are warmer spots in parts of the Canadian Shield, due east towards Quebec, the Maritimes, and Atlantic Canada. The breeziness is nowhere near the 100+ km/h winds we experienced over the weekend. We'll see sustained winds in the 15 to 20 k mark. This spin of low pressure is rather weak over us. The bulk of the moisture is moving across parts of Pennsylvania and New York State proper, the western flank. And meanwhile, the worst weather stays stateside. We are looking at a relative calm for tomorrow. There's your clearing for a mixture of sun and cloud before some more clouds start to roll in, potentially towards the Thursday, Friday time frame. Here's the breakdown. The probability of precipitation tonight is relatively low. I think it's less than 40% through 8 o'clock. We'll still be 24 at that time frame. At that point, partly cloudy conditions will be the story from this evening through tomorrow morning and for tomorrow. High of 29, feels like 37. The UV is high for the next couple of days, so protect yourself. The temperature is up to 31 on Wednesday, sunny, and then 30 showers possible Thursday into Friday, 27, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 28s across the board. That's a look at your 7-day forecast, courtesy of Enercare Siles.
Researchers from an Ontario university may have found the key to keeping cancer cells from spreading to the brain. The team of researchers from McMaster University outlined the development of new drugs that could target an enzyme that lung, breast, and other cancers use to spread. They say a pill taken once a day could be ready in as little as 5 years. Experts say once cancer breaks through the blood-brain barrier, it's nearly impossible to stop. A growing body of research suggests what's on your plate could have a big impact on your brain. A new study followed more than 1,800 adults in Sweden over the age of 60 for up to 15 years. Researchers found those who ate a more anti-inflammatory diet were significantly less likely to develop dementia, even in people with early signs of Alzheimer's. An anti-inflammatory diet focuses on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and nuts while limiting ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, and red meat. Experts say the findings add to the evidence that making healthier food choices over time may help lower the risk of dementia and support better brain health as we age. First responders will soon be covered by new protections. Tucked into the recently passed bail reform bill are measures that will make it easier for courts to increase sentences for assaulting a police officer, paramedic, or firefighter. CTV's Rachel Aiello looks at the changes and why advocates say they're needed.
First responders show up to help on someone's worst day, but they face unique risks and sometimes violence against them once arriving on scene.
Many first responders are regularly exposed to violence, threats, aggression, traumas, incidents that's part of their work. So these experiences don't always result in physical injuries, but they have lasting effects psychologically.
Though there's now optimism that newly passed changes to the criminal code will help reduce these instances. or at least ensure tougher penalties for perpetrators. Soon, judges will have to consider if a victim of a crime was an on-duty firefighter, paramedic, police officer, or other first responder as an aggravating factor that could increase the sentence.
This is a reactive response, unfortunately, but it's certainly an important step that the government has taken. And by prosecutors and judges putting this out in there and utilizing this new legislation, we're hoping that that becomes preventative in the long run. Not only with the public, but also for our members to make sure they're reporting these incidents so that they gain more traction.
These changes were stitched into the broader Bill C-14, the Bail and Sentencing Reform Act, which received royal assent when Parliament adjourned for the summer in June.
It's a message that violence against first responders will not be tolerated.
The new policy comes into effect on July 15th. Advocates say it's a welcome move, but is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to improving the day-to-day conditions for Canadian emergency workers.
When you're attacked at work and you're assaulted, scratches, hit with pipes, shot at, that obviously has a negative impact. So making sure there's supports in place to help with those first responders on an ongoing basis is extremely important.
After a recent string of on-the-job police deaths and injuries in his province, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is pushing for a national conversation on the issue when all of Canada's premiers gather later this month in Charlottetown for a Council of the Federation meeting. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Faster trains or lost farmland. Still ahead, why Canada's high-speed rail plan is sparking fierce debate. A Canadian family whose loved one vanished during the First World War is determined to find answers after more than a century. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has more on their growing effort to bring soldiers home.
Alicia Trelford carries numerous artifacts to honor her great-great-uncle, Lieutenant Lionel Tranter, who left his home in Southampton, Ontario in 1914 and signed up when Canada went to war.
He was killed in action on June 15th, 1915.
The circumstances around Tranter's death are a mystery. He simply disappeared.
We know the timeline of everything.
Tranter's family has saved the letters he wrote while fighting in the First World War. There are also pictures, enlistment papers, and his death notice.
The letters that he wrote home, he was a very passionate, overprotective brother. So it would have been a great loss to that family.
Trelford and her family have now turned to Acadia University archaeology professor Aaron Taylor for help. Taylor has previously worked with the U.S. Defense Department finding Americans who went missing in previous wars.
There's a map detailing where.
Taylor has located the field where Tranter is likely buried in an unmarked grave.
It's near Givenchy. In northern France.
He hopes to lead an on-site search for Tranter later this year. Searching for lost soldiers has become a passion for Taylor and his students. This painting on campus is a powerful tribute to those who died in previous wars.
We have over 27,000 missing Canadians from the First and Second World War and the Korean conflict.
For each one who is missing, there is a family searching for answers for decades.
We know how to do this. We know how to search.
Trelford and Taylor have asked the Canadian government to lead the search for anyone who served in war and disappeared.
We have made attempts to reach out to various levels of government, and we're not getting any feedback.
She hopes to raise money and awareness and end a lot of pain for many families.
We have the ability to go and get them and bring them home.
Including her great-great-uncle, Lieutenant Lionel Tranter, who died for his country more than 100 years ago, and now his family wants to find him and bring him home. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Wolfville, Nova Scotia.
There is an emerging divide over a proposed high-speed rail project that could connect a number of major cities between Quebec City and Toronto. CTV's Jeremy Sharon on the new survey showing the split as he visits a community that could host a future stop.
In rural Ontario, a fierce debate has been ignited.
He's our guardian dog.
Farmers concerned about what the Alto high-speed rail project could mean for them.
We're very concerned that
that we're not being taken into account by Alto. The tone of what has been communicated so far has been concerning.
Glenn McKenzie's family farm is within a proposed rail corridor.
So we have a mile-long grazing corridor. We practice rotational intensive grazing. The cattle are on a small strip of land, and we keep moving them down until they reach the end. If they went through this strip of land, it would be over for us.
A new survey from Nanos Research for CTV News shows the country is divided over the major multi-billion-dollar project. 38%, or 4 in 10, believe it should be a high priority for the government, while the same feel it should be a low priority.
Now, support for the project varies depending on where you are. Here in Kingston, where the government recently announced a proposed stop, many welcome it.
Like a high-speed train going from one end of the province to Quebec would be very useful.
That sounds great to me.
The amount of damage that it's going to do to communities, to the land, to the environment, is just overwhelming.
A reliable high-speed train would be a great kind of thing.
Kingston's mayor says if the project does go ahead, they want to see Kingston included.
We need better rail service in Kingston. We're a rail-oriented community. We're used to taking the train, and I hear from people all the time about how there needs to be better options.
A route is not yet finalized. Alto has only publicly shared this proposed corridor. The company has completed a first round of public consultation and has scheduled more for the fall. But back on the McKenzie farm, that uncertainty is part of the frustration.
That's right. I mean, if it's not us, it's somebody else.
Jeremy Sharon, CTV News.
Now to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce in their honeymoon era. The two tied the knot at Madison Square Garden over the weekend, and we're learning more about all that went into making the night so special. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay with the details.
Taylor Swift is entering her honeymoon era, making her love story official with Travis Kelce. Her wedding night sparkling. New York City's Madison Square Garden transformed into a garden for the celebration. The July 3rd wedding and reception attended by more than 1,000 friends and family, with A-listers Gigi Hadid and Bradley Cooper, Karlie Kloss and longtime friend and collaborator Ed Sheeran. For the ceremony, a spokesperson for Swift confirming the bride and groom wearing custom couture Dior, their brothers by their sides. Jason Kelce serving as best man, Austin Swift as man of honor. The ceremony was officiated by actor and friend Adam Sandler.
Sorry you had to hear that, Mr. Gilmore.
After he worked with Travis and Happy Gilmore too.
Yes, there were 1,000 people there. It was MSG, but at the end of the day, it felt like a family. Their closest friends that they've collaborated with and played with over the years were there.
After the party, Donna Kelce, Travis's mother, giving her seal of approval.
It was magical, man, magical.
The last time Swift was in the spotlight at MSG, she paid tribute to Stevie Nicks, and reports say the rock icon was among the evening's performers. People reporting Sir Paul McCartney also performed, singing the Beatles' #1 hit, I Want to Hold Your Hand, for the first time in public since 1964. Guests sharing photos of the red carpet-worthy outfits on social media. Selena Gomez wearing a gold Oscar de la Renta dress less than a year after Taylor wore a similar number from the same designer at her wedding. J-Lo and Patrick and Brittany Mahomes. A few even sneaking photos from inside the venue itself. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
It's almost time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. Mel, what do you have for us today?
Well, we're going to talk about a food security program and an exotic bird theft. Stay tuned.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee John Fogerty is set to rock the Coliseum stage on the Legacy Tour August 20th. Enter at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see John Fogerty at Caesars Windsor, plus a $200 gift card.
This is your CTV Windsor Hour Community Calendar. There's something new happening this summer. Art Windsor Essex Summer Nights. Enjoy exclusive summer programming every Thursday in July and August. See you next time on Our Community.
Welcome back. And Melanie, there was a dignitary in town promoting the National Food Security Strategy.
That's right. The Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship was here today. Peter Fragaskatos was detailing the national program, which aims to increase grocery store competition, process more food in Canada, grow fruits and vegetables year-round, and lower prices of groceries by removing expensive red tape. The government says the strategy is backed by more than $3 billion in investments over 10 years.
$800 is the average amount that a family is spending at the grocery store. It's not an acceptable situation. You should be able to afford to live in the place that you call home. If you live here in Windsor, if you live in London, if you live anywhere in Canada, you should be able to afford to live there.
We got details online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have a story online, Melanie, about a second suspect being arrested in a $30,000 exotic bird theft.
Yes, police say the 19-year-old was taken into custody June 30th on Howard Avenue near the mall. He is facing multiple charges, including break and enter, possession of property obtained by crime, wearing a disguise, and causing unnecessary pain and suffering to animals or birds. Investigators say a third suspect has also been identified but remains at large. And in our social spotlight, some people have unique talents.
I guess we never really moved on. It's really good to hear your voice saying my name.
So if you look closely, this is not what it seems. She's painted a mouth on her nose and still seems to be lip syncing almost perfectly. Pretty impressive. So Travis, could you do that?
I don't think so. I also can't really wrap my head around how she's moving that part of her face like that. That's I don't know. How do you learn that you can do that?
I don't know. That is, like I said, a very unique skill. It might take some practice.
It is. And you know what? That deserves to get some views on social media. I think if you've got a weird talent like that, and if you do have a weird talent like that and you want to take a video and send it to us, Mel, how can people do that?
Yeah, well, they can email us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or can text it to 10400.
Thanks. And that's what's happening now. A rideable beaver, a singing loon, and a robot goose. When we return, meet the Canadians using robot wildlife to spread joy. A look out at the sky late this afternoon. Quite hazy, I would say, Gary. And what's going to be like tomorrow? It's going to be warmer. You said that.
I think it's going to be warmer. I think it will be a bit hazy, just like today at times. I don't think we will see rain. I think we'll see some of that haze clearing towards the afternoon, say about 2, 3 o'clock, and we'll go up to a high near 29 degrees. Might be a degree warmer in Chatham, Kent, and feeling like the mid to upper 30s, about 37, 38. Sunny on Wednesday, both Tuesday, Wednesday, high UV index, so protect yourself. 31 on Wednesday, then 30, 27, some showers, cloudiness Thursday into Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, fair weather for that 3-day stretch. High of 28 would be seasonal for this time of the year.
Yeah, looks great. A great weekend to get outside and see some wildlife. But I don't know if you'll see this kind of wildlife out there. There's a unique idea taking shape in BC, a trio of electronic animals you could say are truly Canadian. Here's CTV's Adam Sawatsky.
When you stop to wonder what Janet Mader's carrying.
These are robot wildlife.
And she introduces the robot goose as Gustav, before mentioning the robot loon is named after an iconic singer.
This is Celine Dion.
And then David Bino tells you they have a third animatronic animal.
Yeah, we've got an electric beaver.
You're grateful they agree for you to follow them into their hack space and meet who they named after a former prime minister.
His name's Lester Beaver Pearson, because Canadian history nerds and bad puns.
But also because David and Janet simply thought it would be funny to make Lester Beaver Pearson rideable.
Oh, it's hilarious.
So Janet figured out new welding techniques, while David learned all about electronics.
Whenever I get stuck kind of thing, she can usually find a way out and vice versa.
And while the other animals are featured at combat robot tournaments, with Gustav the Goose performing the halftime show and Celine Dion singing the national anthem in both official languages, Lester Beaver Pearson makes appearances all over the place.
I personally just like to inject little bits of joy.
A couple of David and Janet's friends rode the beaver during their Canadian citizenship ceremonies over Zoom.
So they can feel like that much more Canadian while taking their oath of citizenship.
And then a bunch of their neighbors borrowed them for a nonagenarian's birthday. That's a 90-year-old's.
Nonagenarian beaver rodeo is a phrase I never thought would enter my lexicon, but it was amazing.
But best of all is when they take the beaver out in public to build a community by offering rides to strangers.
So nice to see that you're making somebody smile, because there is so much awfulness. So it feels really important, being kind.
Like Our Country was created by all sorts of different people coming together to make this mosaic we call Canada, Janet and David are hoping to inspire others to build all sorts of things to make our communities more fun.
It's kind of a wonderful time to be alive, really.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
At first I was like, why did they do this? But now I'm thinking, why don't more people do this?
Yeah, well, I do like motorsports, so I like that angle.
You've got quite a few decades to go, but would you consider a nonagenarian beaver rodeo? I just learned that word, so I have to keep saying it.
Right.
Nonagenarian.
Could it be a moose?
You know what? They need to get a moose on there.
Yeah,
they had that little plush one riding the Gustav.
A moose would be really good.
Yeah, I love a loon, so I'm interested in that. Maybe we'll get her to sing the national anthem for us sometime. On behalf of your dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I, sadly not Celine Dion, will be back with your only late local newscast at 11.
See you then.
Good night.